Good evening. Welcome to Love Yourself to Health and Wealth. That's what I'm here to talk with you about tonight. It is what I have been talking about on Sunday evenings in my Facebook Lives for the last few weeks, sharing tips and tools to love yourself to health and wealth through some of my own personal stories. Personal stories from, well, in some cases, they can be recent. In other cases, they are from years ago and what I've learned from them and incorporated into how I show up for myself, how I take care of myself. They have become part of everyday routines. They've led to new beliefs. They have become part of the healing work that I share with others. And I want to be able to, share with everyone some of the things that have worked for myself. Hey, Cal, welcome. And so that's what I'm here to do again tonight, is share with you those tips and tools to love yourself to health and wealth, because I do believe that that is the foundation of self-care, is loving ourselves. And by loving ourselves, we not only can connect and create our health, but also wealth in our life. All right, so where do I want to begin? Tonight, I will say that the topic that I'm going to discuss is one that may put some people on edge. Some people might think I'm crazy, and if it triggers you, it may be because, this is what I've learned about myself. If it triggers me, if something triggers me, gets me all worked up, that there is something to address there, that there's something that requires attention, requires love, healing, that's something, to look at. And so if this is something that does trigger you or upset you, I would love to hear about it. And not just that. Of course, I would love to hear if something I say resonates, if it feels good. If you find it beneficial, I want to know those things too. But I would love to have conversations with you if you find that what I say is bothersome in some way. All right. And if you're watching this live, you can feel free to ask questions, share comments, share your thoughts, or if you're watching this as a recording, the same goes. I will respond when it makes sense if we're live, or follow up if it is to the recording. Either way, I will take the time to respond. So what I wanted to share tonight, especially with the fact that we are entering into October, otherwise known as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, or the month that everything turns pink, including football jerseys. And I have mine on today for the Patriots. Go Patriots. But even jerseys can turn pink, and sports equipment can turn pink during the month of October. And on some level, it makes me nuts, because we all know that breast cancer, we're all aware of it, or I would hope that at this point we are all aware of it. To me, being aware of Breast Cancer Awareness Month is not enough. That it's not enough to know that it's an issue. It's not enough to know that that the statistics for women who are being diagnosed with breast cancer, that those statistics, I'm going to have to say stats, continue to increase. That the number of women who are being diagnosed with breast cancer continues to increase. And I think that is what requires the attention. How can we create steps for ourselves, actions for ourselves. How can we take care of ourselves in a way that decreases the chance or prevents us being diagnosed with breast cancer? And I believe that's where the energy is needed. That's where the attention is needed. That it's not enough to say breast cancer, to be aware of it. All right. So why am I sharing this? Well, I'm sharing this because it's been a few years now. I want to say probably almost 4 years ago that I went to my physician. It was for an annual checkup, wanting to, just see where things were at, I'll say. It had, and I will qualify this. I am not somebody who goes to an MD every year. I'm not somebody who goes to an OBGYN every year. I'm not somebody who engages in the standard testing as recommended by medical doctors, or that would be the norm. I will put that right out there. I'm also not somebody who gets mammograms as recommended. Honestly, I've never gotten one, and I don't know at this point if I intend to get one. And I know that may shock some of you. I say this because I want people to understand where I come from, and at the same time understand that it is important to take care of ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to take care of our health. And that's my number one priority, is taking care of my health. If I don't have my health, then what do I have? So I come from this place and this belief that our health is extremely important. Well, like I said, if we don't have it, then what do we have? So I'm not in any way suggesting that our health is not important or our attention to it is not important. But with that, I will say that I, every day, am having conversations with my body, with my being, that I have a relationship with myself, and literally communicate with myself every day. And if my body's asking for something, if my body is saying it needs something, that I'm going to follow through on that. That I'm going to follow through when my body says, get more sleep, go to bed early, take a nap. I'm going to follow through when it says, you know what, you're not moving enough, you're not exercising enough. I'm going to do those things. And yeah, I'll leave it there. So at this point, for various reasons, partly because people thought I was crazy because it had been a couple of years since I had been to the doctors. So I said, okay, I'm going to go and schedule an appointment. And I go in and I start talking to the doctor. And he's like, you're probably going to be one of my easiest appointments because there are so many things that you do to take care of yourself. Awesome. I really just wanted more confirmation that everything was good. And then part of that appointment was a routine breast exam by a female physician assistant. And through the course of her exam, she says, oh, I found a lump. I'm like, what? Because I do breast exams. I do regular breast exams. And a lump was not something that I had noticed. And if you've been someone who's lying there on the table with the gown, with this person that you don't know, examining your breast, not the most comfortable thing to begin with, and then, of course, they say, you've got a lump. I don't know about anybody else, but I went into a bit of shock. My mind started going. It immediately goes to breast cancer, and oh shit, Now what do I do? And I had enough presence to say to the woman, can you show me where you felt it? So she goes back and she shows me where she feels it. And, honestly, I don't know if I felt it or didn't feel it. Again, my mind's kind of reeling at this point. And before I have a chance to say anything else, she says, okay, I'm going to have paperwork at the front desk. You've got some advanced testing that I want you to have done and to see what this really is. And otherwise, you're all set. You can get dressed and head out to the front desk. And she walks out of the room. Whoa, wait a minute here. Again, my mind is all kinds of things happening up there. But what is clear is I haven't had a chance to ask questions. She didn't provide me with an opportunity to ask questions. I want to know if there's other options. I want to know what we're looking at. None of those things happen. So I get dressed. I go to the front desk. I pay for my visit. They ask if I want to schedule a follow-up, and I said no at this time because, well, I just couldn't. I take the paper for this test I'm supposed to do. They want to know if they want to schedule it for me. I said no, thank you, because part of me was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. And I go out and I get in my car. Yeah, and this is pretty much what I did. Like, whoa, okay. I've got all kinds of emotions going on inside of me. And I'm going to allow myself to feel those emotions. I'm going to allow myself to feel that shock, that worry, that anxiety, that stress, that, all kinds of things happening. What does this mean? Oh my God. Like all kinds of things happening. And after sitting in my car in front of the doctor's office, I don't know, it could have been, hey, Jen, welcome. I could have been sitting in front of, hello, Jerry, welcome. And since we have some people joining us, feel free to say hello. If you've got questions, if you've got comments, share them below. And I will comment when I look and see probably the comments. And as I've been sharing for the last few minutes, I'm sharing my story to get people caught up to date. I'm sharing the story of a doctor's visit I had a few years ago where a female physician's assistant told me I had a lump in my breast. And before I could even ask questions or find out my options, says there'll be a form at the front desk for you to get advanced testing. You're all set, get dressed, and she walked out of the room. So I'm sitting in my car, and I've been sitting in my car for about 15 minutes, I guess, though who knows? It could have been 1 minute, it could have been 30 minutes. I decide I am not in this moment going to follow up with this advanced testing. Part of the thoughts that were going on in my head is they want me to get on the breast cancer train. I've known other people who have been told that they have a lump in their breast. The advanced testing starts, the numerous follow-up visits start, and the conversation turns into regular breast cancer conversations. Oh, I've got another appointment coming up. I hope this appointment's good. The fear that maybe it's not. I would see people with this stress and anxiety over, okay, I've got to get these appointments, but it was like this constant back and forth where it's hard to, or I feel like it's hard to not have that be your focus when there's a system that is immediately engaged when you're told that you have a lump in your breast. Our medical system has all of these steps of what we should do next and the timeline with which we should do it. And in my opinion, contributes to this consistent thought about breast cancer and whether or not we have breast cancer and what does that mean. And I chose not to get on it. Now, you might be wondering what I mean about this breast cancer train. And I'll share a story with a woman that our offices were next door to each other. We shared a parking lot. Yes, Jerry. Jerry is saying allopathic medicine creates fear, and that is absolutely true. And that they want us to give up our rights to our body over those fear. And I wasn't willing to do that. Because what I had witnessed with others, and this one woman in particular, it broke my heart. It was because, well, I'd gotten to know her because our offices shared a parking lot. So we'd often see each other in the parking lot. And one day she says to me, I just want to share with you that I've been diagnosed with breast cancer. I'm like, whoa, I wasn't expecting this. This is a vital, vibrant, healthy woman. For what I knew of her, like super nice, doing things to take care of herself. And she must have recognized the look on my face, the surprise, and she says, oh, no, it's okay. I knew I was getting breast cancer. I just didn't know when, and I'm glad to know now. And I was like, huh? Like, what do you mean you knew you were going to get breast cancer? And she says, well, ever since I've been a little girl, I knew it was just a matter of time before I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Breast cancer runs in my family, and every single woman in my family has been diagnosed with breast cancer. So I knew it was a matter of time, and now I just know it's time. And so that's okay. I was shocked. I was shocked that from a very young age, it was shared with her that someday she was going to get breast cancer. And so every time she went to the doctors, there was a conversation about breast cancer from as long as she could remember. Her family members talked about breast cancer because all the women in her family got it. Do I believe those conversations? Not intentionally, but do I think they contributed to this woman being diagnosed with breast cancer? Absolutely. It was in her mind that it was a matter of time. Well, I decided I was not going to get on that breast cancer train. I was not going to allow my initial shock and fear to take me down that path unless I consciously and intentionally chose to follow through on testing. I was not getting on that fear train. Fortunately, I have some pretty fantastic people in my life, and I reached out. I called my girlfriend at the time, and she was a little skeptical, but willing to support me. I was really clear that what I was looking for at that time was people who could support me, my health, the choices I was in the process of making to basically step up my game and step up my game in such a way to make sure that my breasts were healthy. Yeah, I know that sounds funny, but it's true. So I reached out to friends. I reached out to fellow healers and said, if somebody came in to you and they want to step up their game on taking care of their breasts, for their breasts to be healthy, I will not become one of those statistics. I am going to choose to be proactive and to advocate and empower myself. Now, if you didn't hear the first part of my conversation tonight, I am aware that some of the things that I'm saying may upset some people. They may have had experiences with breast cancer or a breast cancer scare, or they may have people in their family, friends, family members who have had breast cancer, who fought breast cancer, maybe are survivors, or maybe those who have not. And I am not in any way suggesting that their choice, however they chose to move forward, was not the best thing for them, or that their decisions were wrong in any way, shape, or form. What I am saying is, I made a choice that was right for me. I made a choice that advocated for myself, that empowered myself, and to come from this belief that I am healthy, that my body is healthy, that my mind is healthy, my emotions are healthy. I'm consistently taking action for me to be healthy. And so once I got over the initial shock, the initial fear of being told, hello, Vernita, welcome. Once I got over that initial shock and that fear that this physician assistant told me I had a lump, I wanted to look at other options. And that is absolutely one of the tips or tools that can allow us to love ourselves and love ourselves to health. What do I mean by that? There may come a day that you or someone else that you know that you love may get shocking information from their doctors. And what I would highly recommend is whatever information that might be shocking, whatever information that is, that you stop and that you breathe. First thing, always breathe. Always, connect into your body. Like literally feel your body, feel your feet on the ground, and connect into your body, get grounded, get present in the moment. And then if at that point, if you're able, ask the doctor for options. Doctors, from my own experience and from those reported to me by people like yourself, they often have a way that they want you to go. And they want you to move into that system that they've developed. Well, that may not be the best choice for you. But when we're afraid, when that fear comes up, we're not always able to ask those questions. So breathe, get grounded, get present, and if you can ask those questions, what are your options? Then do that. If you can't, I wasn't really presented an opportunity at that point, and maybe if I was a little more grounded or present, I might have said, whoa, you can't leave this room until I ask questions. But when I got outside and gave myself that time and that space to express my emotions, to allow my body, allow me to feel those emotions, I then could breathe and settle into, okay, I have some choices to make. So that would be my next recommendation, my next tip. Feel the emotions. Feel the emotions. That shock, that fear, that sadness, that, whatever's coming up, give yourself a few minutes to allow them to be felt. Don't stuff them. Don't ignore them, because that is you. And then reach out for your support system. Reach out for your tribe, your community, your family, your friends, whoever that might be, who you know you can ask for support, that you can ask for assistance, that who can stand by you. And I would add, who can stand by you in a way that supports what you're wanting to achieve. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll use my girlfriend, now my wife. as an example. I hope this is okay, Cal. She was a little skeptical at first that I was not going to follow through on the next steps that the doctor's office recommended. She was a little skeptical. And I said, this is what I'm choosing for the time being. This is the way that I want to go. I want to see what else is out there for me. I want to see what my other options are. I want to be proactive about taking care of this news that I have a lump. And then we'll see where my decision goes from there. I said, so I would like your support to help me look at those options. That I'm not saying absolutely no to other things, but no for right now. And I say that because we sometimes have loved ones in our family who, in their own fear, in their own worry, want you to do what they would do, what they've done, what they think is the right choice. And it may very well be their right choice for them, but not the right choice for you. So reach out to your support system for those people who can support how you want to move forward. I'm sorry, I don't know. For some reason, I got a really itchy nose tonight. And it's making me nuts. I'm trying to ignore it. So reach out to a tribe, a community, friends, family. It might be a professional who can support you in a way that is best for you. Because when it comes down to it, this is you. This is your health, your relationship with yourself, with your body. And then once you have that support system, then take that next step into the direction that you want to go. I don't know what this other woman, what her results were, what her circumstances were. Not long after that, my office did move, and I didn't run into her or see her anymore after that. So I don't know what her results were. I know others who were eventually diagnosed with breast cancer. I have my thoughts around that. I do believe that our thoughts, our feelings, our fear, constant communication about what is wrong with you or potentially wrong with you can affect our overall health, can affect our well-being, can affect how our immune system functions. And certainly if we're taking steps or feeling in any way like we're being pushed or directed in a way that we're not entirely sure of, that it does have an impact on our health. Now, if anybody has any questions, if anybody has any comments, anything they might want to share about anything I've said, I'm open to those questions. I'm open to those comments. And yeah, open to feedback. I don't suspect that this is a one-sided conversation, even though I know I can't hear you, but I am open to those thoughts and those questions. Really what I want people to take away from this conversation tonight is that we do have choices. There are times that because of insurance, because of the way our medical system is set up, because the doctors have been through the education and experience they have, that the perception is there that they know more, that they know the right thing for us. And as someone who has been in the healthcare field as long as I have, I don't believe that. And I just want to check my phone here too. Okay. I'm getting some messages there as well. Just because somebody has doctor in front of their name, and this is very much coming from somebody who does, if a doctor tells you something and it doesn't feel right for you, it's an opportunity to ask more questions. And if you're not comfortable for whatever reason asking them then call the office after you leave and ask them then. Or if you know that you get nervous at doctors, bring somebody else with you to your next doctor's appointment, somebody that can help you be grounded, be present. Maybe you have a list of questions you want to ask, and they can help you advocate for yourself, empower yourself. This is so important. It's so important that we own our power when it comes to our bodies and our health. Now, I'm very happy to say that the steps that I took after that doctor's visit, after that shock, I never did go get advanced testing, and I never, I haven't had any issues with my breast or my breast health. I did regular and still do regular breast exams. As a result of reaching out to see if there are other options to take care of my breast massage was the one that I chose to follow through on. And whether or not that's what took care of it, along with my positive attitude and the beliefs that I created at that time, that if my body wanted me to go to follow-up doctors, that it would let me know. That if my body needed more attention, it would let me know. And so I had this belief that I was capable of taking care of this. Now, again, I am not in any way saying that you shouldn't follow up, or that if you do follow up, you're making the wrong choice because it's different than my choice. What I am saying is find the place for yourself that you make the choice that is best for you, the choice that feels right for you, that you're stepping into consciously, because that's where loving yourself comes into play, is that you're making these choices for you. And if you leave with nothing else, then that's the piece I'd like you to leave from. Make the choice that is best for you. Connect with a support system that's going to support you and what's best for you. And then create beliefs around it. I can work with people in my office, in my practice, to create beliefs for taking an alternative path to address breast health, or to address anything adversely that might be going on in their body. I've had people who've been diagnosed with pancreatitis or kidney stones or gallstones, and the doctors might recommend surgery. They chose another option. I help them create beliefs and address the health in their body for that choice. I've also had people who have chosen surgery, who have chosen to do the follow-up tests. And then I help them create beliefs for the outcomes that they're looking to have happen. And that's the support that you want. Gather the support and the beliefs around you for the outcomes that you're looking for. All right. Again, if anybody has any questions, comments, I'd love to hear. And if you're wondering about breast massage, I do think that was valuable for me. I do think that made a difference, and in a number of ways, certainly physically, but also mentally, emotionally, because it let me be a proactive part of taking care of myself. And there are massage therapists out there, there are healers out there who can teach you how to do that. All right, I'm not seeing any questions or comments. So what I'd like to do at this time is do some of the healing work, some of my synergy activation to clear anything that our body is asking to clear, aligning our beliefs for our overall health and well-being, and then address anything specifically that might be coming up for people. So that's how I'm going to wrap up tonight. Again, if anybody has any questions, comments, or anything specific that they'd like me to address, please feel free to do that. All right, otherwise I'm going to start with the clearing. All right, is there a priority? Yeah, so that's just saying our group says, yeah, there's some things that we can address. Is it safe to proceed? Is it safe to proceed? Yes. Okay, are we in the ideal posture? Yes. Are we optimally connected? Yes. Okay, do we address beliefs? Yes. Okay, and the belief that we're going to start off addressing. Hello, Adrian, welcome. We're doing a group healing right now, a synergy activation for our bodies to be at our best health. Okay, yeah. So the belief that we're going to start off with, and that I'd like you to repeat after me, is I am safe. And the reason we're saying that is we want to feel safe throughout our entire body and being, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. We want that belief aligned through every aspect of our body, because that's what's going to allow us to be there with ease and move into other areas of our life with ease. Okay, and I do get that there are some blocks to that. And that's okay, we're going to clear them. I'm going to do that right now. Okay, if you could repeat after me, I am safe. Okay, and now I get a yes. If you've heard my lives before, you know that this is so important, because when we make choices, when we live our day from a place of safety, it's very different than when we live from a place of fear. And when it comes to our health, if we're in a place that we feel safe, we make better choices for ourselves, our immune system functions better, number one, when we're not in a state of survival. If we're in a state of fear, we're in a state of survival. That's not the best place for healing to happen. Well, it's not the place for healing to happen, period. All right, if we've got, let me see, other beliefs. Yes. All right. The next belief we're going to address, I forgive myself. So if you could repeat after me, I forgive myself. Okay. There are some blocks there as well. Why is it important to forgive ourselves? The humans are excellent at beating ourselves up, excellent at being critical and judgmental for things, certainly things in the past. And we make choices that are not always the best choices for ourselves. And forgiving ourselves would allow us to clear out that old stuff. So I'm going to do some clearing about that right now. Okay, if you could repeat after me, I forgive myself. All right. That pathway has now been cleared for I am safe and I forgive myself, which allows us to more easily function in that belief, in that space. Are there other beliefs to address at this time? Yes. Okay. The next one, I attract ease into all areas of my life. Okay, and I'm getting some blocks there, so let me clear those. Okay, if you could repeat after me, I attract ease into all areas of my life. And I don't know if you're feeling the energy shift. I can, but then I practice this all the time. So if you don't feel the energy shift, it's not a time to be critical of yourself. That's okay. If you do, great. What I would say is if you are someone who's not feeling it, after you repeat the statement after me, you can close your eyes, get comfortable in your body, and just breathe. And then when I ask you to repeat it again, of course, breathe and see if you notice even a little shift, or maybe, and you might not know what a shift means. For some people, you might just feel lighter. You might say like, oh, wait a minute. I feel like, yeah, things feel lighter, maybe not so heavy. With myself, I know that sometimes, especially when I'm doing these lives, I did one last week that when I started, I felt really heavy. And I was literally kind of contracted. And as I did it, I noticed I was sitting up straighter, more open. So that would be a way. It might be your breath seems more expansive, more full. If anybody has any other thoughts or ideas on how they may feel a shift, feel free to post in the comments. Okay. Are there other beliefs to address at this time? Yes. Okay, the next belief we're going to address. I belong because I do. Okay, there are some blocks there. Let me clear those. Hello, Mary. Welcome. All right. The belief we were just working with that we just cleared, that I'd like you to repeat after me. I belong because I do. Okay, now I get that that pathway is clear. That's another belief. Many of us, I know I did for so many years of my life, didn't feel like I belonged with my family, with my friends, with people in school, people I worked with. I always felt like an outsider, and realized that I made a lot of choices to basically perpetuate that belief. It's one of the reasons I have this in my belief system now, that I belong, period, just because I do. All right, are there other beliefs to address at this time? Yes. All right, let's see what the next one is. Okay, the next belief we're going to address. I release what no longer serves me from my past. So if you could repeat that after me. I release what no longer serves me from my past. Yes. Okay, so I get a yes for that, which tells me that the path already exists. It's already aligned within us physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, which is awesome. Now we're going to like raise that vibration, raise that belief, kind of make it stronger. So let me do that. Okay. Are there other beliefs to address at this time? Yes. Okay, if you could repeat after me. I love my masculine and feminine qualities unconditionally. Okay, and I get no. Now, for some of you might be wondering like, oh, what does that really mean? There are certain aspects or characteristics of ourselves that are typically more masculine or more feminine. For instance, being assertive, being or aggressive tends to be a more masculine trait. And I know for some people raised as girls, we might have been told to not be assertive or not be aggressive. So we're literally trained or taught not to do that. And so we might have developed a dislike of some of the characteristics that make up ourselves. So this is to love ourselves, our masculine and feminine parts of ourselves unconditionally. So I'm going to do some clearing around that. Okay. If you could repeat after me, I love myself. No, I love my masculine and feminine qualities unconditionally. Okay, and now I get a yes to that. So we cleared out anything getting in the way of that. Are there other beliefs to address at this time? No. All right, so we've cleared beliefs. Jerry says, I release what no longer serves me from my past, and choose to fill that new created void with optimism for the now, which is pretty awesome. And when it comes to beliefs, if you work with beliefs as far as creating energy around your life and your way of being, certainly when you release something, you can choose to put something specifically in its place like Jerry just did. And then Kelly's adding that she feels shifts within her body. Her chest feels less tight. Her stomach feels less upset or achy. And she also feels like she can breathe better or easier. Because we were talking about how you feel those energetic shifts, this clearing that we're doing in your body. So thanks, Jerry and Kelly, for both of those. All right. So we're done clearing beliefs right now. Let's see if there's anything else. Are there general priorities to address? No. Anything specific? Yes. Okay. So what I'm getting, what's coming through is, if you could repeat after me, I give myself permission to advocate and empower myself. I give myself permission to advocate and empower myself. All right, I'm getting some blocks there. Let's clear that. Okay. I'm also being asked to share some additional information about that. And basically, again, some of us were raised that you didn't speak up. That if the doctor told you something, you did it. You didn't ask questions. You certainly didn't say, well, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. That's the best way I can describe it. The doctors at times seem all-knowing, or even at times I've had experiences with some doctors who their response when I've asked questions is, how dare you? They might get pretty angry, pretty irritated, upset. You're talking about your health, your body, and what can happen to it, be done to it. It is absolutely our right and important for us to speak up for ourselves. Hence the reason that we're going to give ourselves permission to do that. All right, is there anything else to address at this time? No. All right, just put it out there one more time. If anybody has any questions or comments or anything that they'd like to say, share, or ask about, or anything to address specifically, please do so. Otherwise, if you like these lives, if you had a message pop up that says, get notified every time I do a live, if you click on that, you will get notified every time I have a live, whether it's scheduled or otherwise. And I would love to see you all come back. And I do these lives scheduled every Sunday night and Wednesday night. Sunday is tips and tools and stories like we did tonight. Wednesday night, I'm going to be doing a live interview with someone who has been under care with me. And she's going to share her story and how the work that we have done together has been beneficial. So basically a live testimonial conversation, and you'll be able to ask questions or make comments as we go along with that. And what else? Oh, I have a couple of group healings coming up that I would love to see you at. They are, I should have had the dates. They are in October, I believe. Where is it? I'll post the links in the comments. There's a group healing in my office on Monday the 22nd. Tickets are required for that. Pretty amazing. We did one last week in the office. Powerful stuff. And then I'm going to have a Zoom group healing on the 23rd. And that is something that you would join from the comfort of your home or office. And those are pretty powerful too. Tickets required for that as well. So I've got those group healings coming up. Would love to see you there, and tickets are required for those. Of course, if you want to know more, if what I've been talking about resonates in any way and want to know how I might be able to support or help you, you can also call my office or send me a direct message, and we can set up a time for a complimentary consultation. And I can tell you that you can leave that 30-minute call knowing whether or not it would be a benefit to work with me. You'd have that clarity around that. All right. As always, I would love to hear from you. Feel free, if you're watching this live or at a later time, to share your thoughts, share your comments. One of the things, especially with how there's so much going on, I don't want people to feel like they're alone, because you're not alone in this. Whether it's something physical, emotional, mental, spiritually related, you're not alone in this. So absolutely feel free to reach out, and I will get back to you. All right. Well, I am sending health, love, and transformation to you until we connect again. Talk to you then.